Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SCW Homecoming Day 2, 2020, being held by Slam City Wrestling in front of 2,500 people at the House of Hardcore. Mike and Cohen open the show saying that night 2 is going to be one hell of a night, though professional wrestling card is subject to change. El Iha will now defend against Momo Watanabe and Utashi Hashishida in what's supposed to be an amazing match. Manders defends against LA Park Jr., Liga Lucha defends against Southside OTP, and Vandal 48. And in the main event, Coughlin, that's right, Coughlin returned to take on the former squad who put him out, the War Dogs, filling in for Eddie Kingston, the team with Big and Bad, Stackhouse, and Tremont, and the youngest professional wrestler in SCW history, Cohen, yes you, Cohen, right next to me, in the main event against the War Dogs. All right, so it's 73 out the gate. Mike and Cohen are on commentary until that point. All right. In a Superstar Scramble, Joey Janela defeats Brian Myers, making his SCW debut. Epidemics Jr., AJ Gray, Ricky Knight Jr., and Tony Deppen of Atelier Noir. In 10-13 with Janela pinned Knight Jr. with his Moonstop Stomp. Myers was the weak link. 60, 41, 52, 64, 57, and 63 overall. 56, 35, 63. All right, in the next match here at Homecoming, we have La Iha defeat Momo Watanabe and Utami Hashishida in 13 when she pinned her with the V-Trigger. It would go out to steal the show, which it did to an 81 overall rating. La Iha makes defense number 50 of her women's world title, 5-0. La Iha is a 71, 66 for Momo Watanabe and Utami Hashishida with a 75. I'm actually considering changing her name, which was literally initially from La Iha de Guadalajara, to just La Iha to La Iha DSCW, but we'll see. Nevertheless, it's a 81 out the gate for the Women's World Championship. The prestige is climbing. All right, next up in a decent match, we have Atelier Noir of Kevin Blackwood, Kevin Koo, and Richard Holiday defeating the Dungeon of Artemis Spencer, Mark Wheeler, and Travis Williams when Holiday pinned Spencer with the 2008. 64, 51, 55 for Williams, Wheeler, and Spencer of the Dungeon. And we have Holiday, Koo, and Blackwood with a 63, 65, and 62. The commentary was blazing again, 67 in this match. All right, next up about that, had decent wrestling but didn't have much heat. Vandal 48 has an upset, defeats Lucha, the Liga Lucha, as well as Southside OTP in a ladder match when Christian Napier of Vandal 48 shocks the world and grabs the SCW World Team Championships. 59 and 68 for Zonique and Og Blanc, Luke Jacobs and Adam Brooks with a 62 and 67, and Napier and Kogar with a 55 and 52. So absolutely surprising everyone here. And nevertheless, we have the Liga Lucha with the, losing their championships against Vandal 48. All right, next up and about that, didn't have much heat and terrible wrestling. Zelina De La Renta defeats Alice Crowley in 8:21 with her booty call. Zelina De La Renta with the victory here tonight. 35, 34, and 40. This match was apparently giving everyone an awkward bout, but it did give us a breather, so that's good news. The commentary did lift the match here at Day 2. Next up, an amount that had decent wrestling but didn't have much heat, which we were aware of. Kings Road of Isladon and Kaylee Ray defeat the Liga Lucha of Dulce Tormenta and Letty Flammer when Kaylee Ray pins Dulce Tormenta with her reverse code red. 50, 32, 57 for the ladies. 53, 36, 50, 51. Now, because I had a whole bunch of random people unable to make the show and an injury, we changed up a little bit, and instead of going with a short card, we are having a super long card. We are getting everyone on here tonight, except for 2 or 3 people. So that's kind of why you kind of see some spaced out stuff. All right, next up in a decent match, Dempsey Regal makes Gringo Loco, lose via pinfall, even though it was supposed to be a submission finish. The Kings Road captain with a 63, 42, and 69 here and a 71 and 55 for Rigo and Loco. It's interesting. You used to see Ringo Loco in the 70s, but he's been consistently in the high 50s. He's getting a little older. It's to be expected. Next up, and about that, a good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Joe Gacy loses to Atticus Cogar in an ultra-violent death match with the headlock driver, 67-53-71. Atticus Cogar with the match in ultra-violent fashion. All right. Next up, a hype package for the one called Manders and the SCW World Title defense. Him and Elliot Park Jr. will have one brawl. Mander did not do well with a script to follow. Without a script to follow. Man, this was a pre-taped segment. All right, nevertheless, Manders, you're amazing in ring, but you really need to focus on that promo work. But it's not your game. I get it. 61 overall. And a wild brawl that had great wrestling and good heat. One called Manders defeats Ellie Park Jr. with a Dr. Bomb, making defense number 10. So what a fucking match. 85 overall, 79-61, 85 for Manders, 72 for Park. There was times where a lack of psychology on display and had a tendency to drift a little, but nevertheless, an 85 here between the one called Manders and Ellie Park Jr., who we've been building up for a very long time. And in the main event, War Dogs, Charles Mason, Gabe Kidd, Slade, and Gotch defeat Coughlin, Cohen Burlett, and Big and Bad when Gabe Kidd pinned Cohen Burlett with a sick kick after a miscommunication with Coughlin. 76 overall in the main event. Cohen takes a pinfall loss here. 60, 66, 73, 52 for Stackhouse, Tremont, Cohen, and Coughlin. Slade, Gotch, Kidd, and Charles Mason with a 55, 65, 86, and 66. After the match, though, the miscommunication by Coughlin smirks and begins to crush Cohen. Coughlin has returned to rejoin the War Dogs after a year away. All right, so we're going to end with a 76 here at Homecoming Day 2. Again, gained popularity in 6 regions, but growth has restricted due to the limited number of viewers. That's unfortunate. But nevertheless, this was SCW Homecoming Day 2, 2028, in front of just over 2,500 people at the House of Hardcore. Thanks for watching, everyone. We are now officially into Season 6. Have a glorious rest of your day.